For the second time this year, the Raptors have an opportunity at the buzzer to win it. And you literally could not have gotten it any closer to going down. And Scotty's little push just did not have enough. You give it that fraction more oomph, and it's going in, and the Raptors win it. Instead, they lose 102-101 to the Cleveland Cavaliers and drop to 6-4 on the year. But before we break down this game, I want to say this. I'm all over the place. I'm fired up. I'm angry, all this stuff. But I will say this. What shows the true character of a very good basketball team. You know, you can have a long win streak. And the Raptors did. A 5-game win streak was great. It's over now. Now, great teams find ways to bounce back after a tough loss. And the next game is against Brooklyn on Sunday afternoon. That's not going to be easy, but if this team can find a way to bounce back, and then that'll show us a lot about this Raptor team. Because you can win all you want. But if you follow it up with 5 straight losses, then it just doesn't mean anything. You got to bounce back after a loss. Now, let's break down this game, because there are a lot of things I want to talk about. First things first. The Cleveland Cavaliers do not lead for the entire game, not once, until the final 4.8 seconds when they knock down a couple free throws, because the officials absolutely love to make an impact late in the game. Everyone's going to be like, well, it was a call. And I'm not saying it wasn't. But what about that very solid-looking double dribble that Colin Sexton had on the play before? They end up calling it a jump ball because they have no idea what to do. You're not going to call it a double dribble or a double dribble because that would turn the ball over, and that would basically ice the cake of the game. And then they give the free throws, and that was just wild. Now, first quarter, let's go all the way back. It's a back and forth game, right? 29-28 Raptors after one quarter of play. About midway through the second, I'm sitting here watching this game, and I was watching with my mom, and I'll tell you this. The entire game, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I just got this gut-wrenching feeling about this game. Raptors go up by 14. I got this gut-wrenching feeling about this game. There was this weird sinking feeling in my stomach. I don't care what they were up by. I was feeling it. And in that second quarter, Raptors win it 28-20. They're up by 9 at halftime. They're feeling pretty good. We go into the third quarter. They go on a 5-0 run to start, the Raptors do. They're up by 14. They're feeling pretty good. But in my head, it's still sitting there that I just don't have a good feeling about this. That Cleveland is playing extremely well. They remind me a lot of the Raptors in the sense of that grindy defensive mentality. And the fact that they have Mobley and Jared Allen, I mean, those two bigs are hard to handle inside. And it just felt like it was going to be a really tough game. And in the third quarter, even though with the 5-0 start, you lose the quarter 26-23. You're still up by 6, but a 6-point lead in this NBA is nothing. And obviously, we go into the fourth quarter up by 6, and you're just kind of matching bucket for bucket here. They start dwindling it down. It gets really close. At one point, they tie it. Then the Raptors go back up by 4, but it's still right there. And then in the dying minutes, I mean, it doesn't help that with 3 seconds on the shot clock, Jared Allen fires a Hail Mary 3 over Kevin Burch, who was right in his face, and then banks it in, right? Of course he does, right? But the Raptors' offense it wasn't really good enough. And then obviously in the dying minute, they played some really good defense there in the final bit. Looked like, to me, Colin Sexton double dribbled. It gets called a jump ball. They win the jump. And then Garland goes to the free throw line, of course, knocks down 2. And you're down by 1 for the first time in the game. They inbound it. They get it to OG. He gets inside. It was a half-decent look. And it rims out, but Scotty's there to try and tip it up, and it goes like on the rim and sits there and falls back out, and the Raptors lose it. 102-101. I also want to bring up this before we go any further, and I'll let you guys, let this marinate for what it is. The Raptors took 98 field goals, okay? 98. They took 82. That is we took 16 more field goals. They took 33s, we took 27. So if you're talking about fouls, right? If you're talking about fouls, what do you usually see them on? Well, you see them on drives to the bucket. Stuff in the paint, you more or less see the fouls, right? So they took 3 more three-point shots, right? And we had 16 more attempts, but 3 less threes. So that tells me that a lot of the stuff was in the paint. How in the world, how did the Cleveland Cavaliers, where are you here, get 19 free throw attempts, and the Raptors, with a top 6 defensive rating in the NBA, have 9? 9 free throws the entire game, not 1 in the first quarter. I'm not sure how that makes any sense, any logic whatsoever. But alas, it is what it is. You guys can take it for what it is, but I wanted to fire the numbers out there and see what you think. Let's break down the player stats. Precious Achiuwa, I thought he was a little bit better today, but again, sometimes forcing his shot, but again, only took 3 shots in the game. It was 5 points, 8 boards on 2 of 3 shooting. OG, 23, 6 and 5, 10 of 21 shooting, 3, 7 from 3, 1 steal, 1 block. It's just unfortunate that last shot that he missed. Fred VanVleet, 18 points, 6 boards, 6 times, but shot 6 of 18. I was missing a lot of his mid-range stuff today, and was 4 of 8 from three-point range, though, but that mid-range game was kind of tough for Freddie V today. Gary Trent Jr. was phenomenal, 17 points, 2 boards, 1 dime with his dad in the stands, 7 of 14 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3, had 6 steals and 2 blocks. Gary Trent Jr. defensively is wild. And at times, the Raptors today got a little too steal happy. I don't know how many times they went for the steal, missed it, now you're shorthanded a guy and they get an easy bucket. Scotty Barnes, 14 points, 10 boards, 4 dimes, 7 of 19 shooting, a couple blocks in the game. Didn't really think he imposed his will today, but again, after a couple games of being off with that thumb injury, I think it was, and having it taped up today, he still drops a double-double. So that's fine by me for Scotty Barnes. And Delano Banton off the bench, 11 points where are we here? Is it 11 points? 11, 2, and 1 on 5 of 7 shooting. There we go for Delano. And I want to talk about somebody. And I want to get your guys' take on the comments. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know. Chris Boucher, to me, seems like a liability right now. Like, I'm watching that guy on the floor, and it's ugly. Like, I'm not saying it's Aaron Baines-esque, but it's pretty bad. Like, defensively, not blocking shots. Defensively, what is Boucher really giving you? Not really a whole lot. And everybody in the NBA knows that he's trying to block every shot. So, just if he's guarding you taking a 3, just pump fake him. He'll go flying by. It happens all the time. And even on the inside, he's jumping at guys, and then he's confused why there's a foul. Can't shoot a 3 to save his life. I believe he had 1 point today. He was 1 of 2 from the free throw line. It's just, I don't know what he is now, man. Like, before it was like blocking shots, and he was making 3s last year. So I'm like, okay, well, that's what he is. But now he can't even do either, because teams have learned what he's all about. I mean, he played, like 7 or 8 minutes today? He was a -4. He didn't do anything. It's pretty wild stuff that Chris Boucher has kind of fallen off the way he has this season. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on Boucher in the comments. Let's quickly go through the team stats before we preview the game against Brooklyn. Cleveland shot 46% from the field, 33% from three-point range, and 84% from the free throw line. The Raptors shot 43% from the field, 44% from the free throw line, but only 56% from the free throw line. 44% from 3, and then 56% from the free throw line, 5 of 9. Not pretty by any means, but they should have been there a lot more. Anyways, either way, it doesn't matter. That's the game, and it sucks, and I've let all my anger out. I've talked about things that frustrate me, and I've gotten all my things out. You guys can go nuts in the comments. This is for you guys to vent and go crazy. Now, as I said off the top, good teams, great teams in the NBA or in sports in general find ways to bounce back after loss. I'll give you guys a great example. Remember the New York Yankees this year? They won, 12 in a row? Everyone's buzzing. They're trying to catch the Tampa Bay Rays, top of the division. Then they lose like 11 of 13. And right after that, just dismisses the entire win streak. And then they got to the wild card game, and they lost in the wild card game, and that was it. For the Raptors, they won 5 in a row. That's great. It's fantastic they won 5 straight games. You lost 1. Now how do you bounce back? Or are you going to lose 3, 4, 5 in a row? That's going to show us what type of team we have here. It's great when you're going well. Everyone's buzzing. But you got to see what you're going to do when things are not going well, like today. And now you're going to bounce back against Brooklyn at home. It's going to be tough. It's Sunday, 3:30 tip-off there against the Nets. That team really still hasn't found their mojo quite yet in the season, but they're still a damn good team. The Raptors, they got to bring their A game, no matter what. All right? So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and did not enjoy the ending to this game today, and you had that gut-wrenching feeling like I did, smack the like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys not already. Comment down below. Thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game today? Twitter link is down below. Follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. The Instagram link is down below as well, so follow up there if you have not done so already, guys. And I will talk to you Leafs edition tomorrow as they host the Boston Bruins. The Leafs looking for win number 5 in a row, I believe, as they host the Bruins for the first time since Mike Babcock was a coach. Kind of wild to think about. As for the Raptors, they host the Brooklyn Nets on Sunday afternoon, 3:30 tip-off there, looking to bounce back after this tough loss against a very good team in the Brooklyn Nets, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll talk to you guys then.